Wall Street CEO sends shocking late-night post. My daughter is already 6, and I'm just finding out now? Honey daughter, where are you? Come back. The entire internet is searching for the woman who ran away with her child. The next day, a popular young star suddenly posts photos of herself with a little girl. Not pretending anymore, my 6-year-old niece is actually my biological daughter. The entire internet is stunned. The popular young star is the woman who ran away with the child. Looking at the trending topics, I look at my daughter, who resembles the Wall Street CEO, and I'm in deep thought. First thing in the morning, the trending topics are all about the Wall Street CEO. Wall Street CEO searching for wife and daughter. Wife running away with child plot becomes reality. Clicking on any topic, the discussions are lively. Oh my gosh, so exciting. CEO has a day where his wife runs away with his child. It's like a dream. Which wife is so brave, able to leave a CEO and raise a child alone for 6 years? I feel a bit uneasy. How did Jack suddenly find out about his 6-year-old daughter? When I wanted to separate, he didn't care and let me go. Just as I was still puzzled, my daughter with her beautiful features quietly walked over. Mom, I finished my summer homework. Can I have the intermediate coding book now? Looking at my daughter, a smaller version of Jack, my heart skipped a beat. Could someone have taken a picture of my daughter and showed it to Jack? My first thought was to pack up and move. Mia, we'll get your coding book tomorrow, okay? Let's pack up. Mommy's taking you out for fun. Mia pursed her lips. She's naturally quiet and doesn't like going out but loves reading and studying. Seeing how hurried I am in packing, she still nodded obediently. Okay. I plan to pack our essentials and leave immediately. Ring, ring, ring. The phone suddenly rang. My heart raced. Could it be Jack already found us? I picked up the phone. It was my agent, Noah. I sighed with relief and answered. Sue, did you accept another endorsement behind my back again? How many times have I told you? Your current image doesn't fit taking ads. I gave your toothpaste ad to Amy instead. You should thank Amy for taking this mess off your hands. If it aired, you'd be trending for criticism, earning nothing and owing a hefty penalty. Losing my resources and thanking her? This wasn't the first time. Amy and I debuted on the same talent show. Neither of us could sing or dance. On stage, she often sang the wrong songs, danced the wrong moves, and would often zone out, causing frequent mishaps. Fans say she's genuine and unpretentious, and she gained popularity. I practiced into the night to perfect my performances. But online, people said I was sly, deliberately standing next to Amy to make her look unprofessional. They voted Amy to first place. I only got second. In the same company, my hard-earned resources were always taken by Amy. Now she's a top star. I'm still a nobody. I firmly refused. No way. If there's a penalty fee, it's my problem. You know I have a daughter to raise, and I need money. The endorsement fee wasn't cheap. Noah smirked. You know you need money? What about the parenting reality show I got you? With even higher fees, how dare you refuse? I frowned, unable to explain. My daughter looks too much like the female version of Jack. Once public, it would be easy to recognize her. Noah delivered an ultimatum. The toothpaste is already Amy's. Stop competing with her. Her backer is the CEO. You have one more day to decide on the show. Jack is Amy's backer? What's that mean? Noah didn't say, just told me. Check the trending topics. He hung up. Curious, I clicked on the trending topics. Amy just posted 10 minutes ago. Not pretending anymore, my 6-year-old niece is actually my biological daughter. The picture was of her and a girl, matching outfits and cute pigtails. Fans were shocked, her followers cheered. Amy was exposed to have a daughter. She lied saying it's her niece. I knew she was lying. I can't believe it. Amy was the one who ran away with the child. She definitely fits the runaway wife with a child from novels. I love it. Amy, who dares to dump a CEO, is my kind of hero. I was surprised. Didn't Jack always have a place for his first love? 6 years ago, besides me, he got tangled with Amy too? Jack and I were college mates, a year above. He was outstanding. On the first day, he drove a flashy sports car to the freshman speech, revealing a professor's harassment of female students, causing an uproar. He had almost every girl's attention, including mine. Learning he was the student union president, I joined despite working part-time for money. He was different. Charismatic, confident, with a natural dignity. Detail-oriented and decisive. It could be that he was simply too extraordinary. During a student union gathering, a junior spiked his drink intending to trap him. Unfortunately for Jack and me, upon waking, Jack saw me and said, "Sorry, my heart belongs to someone else. I can't be responsible. But whatever you want money-wise, I'll give." My mom was sick and we needed money. Not wanting to burden him, I demanded 20 grand. I remember his look at me. Disappointed, cold, mocking. He transferred it to me. Even sent a delivery with Plan B pills. The moment I took the pill in front of him, I knew that Jack and I would just be strangers from then on. What I didn't expect was for Jack to show up drunk one day with money in hand, asking me to be his girlfriend. Maybe I was messed up too, because I actually accepted his degrading offer. Later, I learned that it was the day his brother married his first love. Jack probably wanted to make a clean break from me. So every time he was with me, he would send me money the next day. To put his mind at ease, I'd take the pill in front of him each time. Graduation was approaching, and I knew we had to end things. The last time he sent me money, I refused and told him that I'd earned enough and didn't want to continue. He was silent for a moment, then nodded. I didn't know what his expression was like at that time. I didn't dare to look, afraid I might feel a bit reluctant. Actually, my mom's illness hadn't improved, and I was desperate for money. Noah, a talent scout, said I had a unique look and wanted to sign me. I didn't expect to find out 2 months later that I was pregnant. Noah was disappointed because I wouldn't terminate the pregnancy. By the time I launched my career after having my baby, Noah was already indifferent to me. Just as I was lost in memories, a message came in. It was from the landlord. The next quarter's rent was due in a couple of days. I was anxious, money was tight. The toothpaste ad was gone. The only option left was a parenting reality show. I tried to convince myself. It's been 6 years, and Jack never reached out. Maybe back in college, he had Amy and others around him besides me. He probably forgot about me long ago. If I'm careful, make my daughter wear a mask, or even use some light makeup on her, we might not be recognized, right? To avoid ending up on the streets with my daughter, I had to take a gamble. "Sweetie, let's get moving." The show was live streamed. I put some invisible makeup on my daughter. Her features didn't resemble Jack's much anymore. To be safe, she still wore a mask. When we arrived at the live set, there were already 2 pairs of guests with kids. I was about to ask when the broadcast would start. That's when a charming and lively Amy walked in with an adorable little girl. I was startled. Amy is here too? But then I realized it made sense. Amy's been in the limelight lately, and participating in this show would only make her more popular. Amy took one glance at me and my daughter, and just gave a condescending look. Seeing all the guests present, the host quickly announced the start of the live stream. He asked everyone to introduce themselves. Amy was first. She smiled proudly, pushing her daughter forward to the crowd. "So happy to be part of this show. Let me introduce my biological daughter, Zoe." Viewers in the live chat started flooding messages. "Wow, the CEO's daughter is so adorable. So cute. I'd love to give her a kiss. Amy sure knows how to have kids. Her daughter is just as likable as she is." Then a comment popped up. "Aren't daughters supposed to look like their dads? Why doesn't Amy's kid seem to resemble the CEO in City A?" There was a huge screen in front of us, so we could see the comments in real time. I noticed Amy's face stiffen when she saw that comment. But soon, Amy's fans were quick to clap back. "Who says daughters must look like their dads? It's great that she looks like our Amy. So cute and pretty." To change the subject, Amy turned to me with a faux friendly tone. "Sue, your daughter's been keeping a low profile. I only just found out she's this big. How old is she? Why is she wearing a mask in this heat?" She caught me off guard, but I had my excuse ready. "She's 5, caught a chill last night, so she's wearing a mask." As soon as I said that, the viewers were not having it. "Wow, I just realized this is Sue. Why is she here too? Bad luck. Daughter's got a cold? Ha, doesn't seem like she'd be a good mom. Bet she didn't take care of her daughter, and that's why she got sick. Please, I doubt it's a cold. Bet the kid's too ugly to show her face." Maybe her daughter's some ugly duckling from one of those rich sponsors of hers. Seeing the comments, my eyes darkened. These trolls could pick on me fine, but leave the kid alone. I regretted bringing my daughter here, worrying she might get a complex. I quickly turned to cover her eyes to shield her from seeing the comments. But before I could, Amy suddenly removed my daughter's mask. Sue, if kids are sick, they shouldn't be suffocated. I couldn't stop her in time. Amy paused for a second, apparently not expecting my daughter to be so pretty. She seemed a bit embarrassed. The audience also paused, unsure of how to criticize. Amy was about to back off. Then she noticed something and exclaimed in shock. Sue, did you put makeup on your daughter? That's too much. Her skin's delicate. Have you even thought about her well-being? Get some non-stimulating makeup remover. I'll remove it for her. The viewers were furious. Sue is heartless. Putting makeup on a child. So young, isn't she scared about ruining her skin? I can't stand her vanity. Afraid her kid's ugly. She doesn't care about her well-being. Just puts makeup on and stifles her. She's not fit to be a mom. She's driving me crazy. Get Sue and her ugly daughter out of the spotlight. Seeing Amy's assistant bring makeup remover, I instinctively tried to stop them. I explained, I use child-safe makeup that doesn't harm the skin. But the other two equally incensed guests blocked me. If you have any maternal instincts, Sue, shut your mouth. Makeup's always harmful to skin. Amy glanced at her assistant to hold my daughter's hands. Quickly, she began to remove the makeup while saying, Sweetheart, Auntie will help remove it. That way, your skin's safe. My daughter couldn't resist. The online viewers were beyond stirred up. Ha ha ha, we're finally gonna see just how ugly Sue's daughter really is. Can't wait. Maybe once we see her unattractive features, we'll be able to guess who her greasy sugar daddy is. Before long, Amy had cleaned all the makeup off of my daughter's face. Everyone along with Amy was super excited. But then once Amy saw my daughter's real face, she was just frozen there, not moving a muscle. The eager viewers, upon seeing my daughter's face, fell completely silent. After a while, a surprise message popped up in the live chat. Oh my God! What the heck is going on? Why does Sue's daughter look exactly like that Wall Street CEO? The crew, clueless, looked at my daughter's face, which actually looked more delicate and pretty without the makeup. Everyone was confused, whispering to each other. Usually, people would want their kids to look prettier. Maybe Sue was competing with her daughter, jealous of her beauty, so she made her look ugly with makeup? With the kind of person she is, not caring about her daughter's well-being, I wouldn't put it past her. They just kept on bashing me. I didn't even have time to argue back. I just quickly pulled my daughter to my side before Amy and the others could react. Amy, finally snapping out of it, looked at me with shock and urgency. Sue, didn't you say your husband passed away? How come your daughter looks? I interrupted her loudly, worried she'd say something wrong. Too pretty, right? My late husband was incredibly handsome. Our daughter got those great genes, so I give her simple makeup to keep her from drawing too much attention on TV and possibly getting into trouble. All clear now. Despite my explanation, Amy still looked skeptical. Even the host and director couldn't hide their curiosity as they looked at me. The live chat erupted with viewers connecting the dots. I remember Sue said her daughter was 5 and her husband died a long time ago. Her daughter looking like the CEO from our town must be just pure coincidence. Yeah, definitely, it's gotta be just that. If Sue really had the CEO's daughter, with her love for attention, she'd definitely have done something about it by now, right? Remember those cases where people looked like mirror images of each other, but had no relation? They even joked about certain celebrities looking like siblings when there's no connection at all. I was originally anxious, but seeing the viewers come up with their own explanations, I felt a huge relief. The penalty fees are too high. Plus, Jack probably wouldn't be bothered watching some kid's live stream. And if he does see it, I could just use what the viewers said as my defense. Feeling assured, I stayed put. But little did I know, because my daughter resembled Jack so much, it set the internet on fire. Tons of viewers poured in just to see how much she looked like him. And when they saw her, they were blown away. Oh my God, they really look alike. You think Sue and her daughter could actually be the wife and daughter the CEO's been looking for? Ha ha ha, if so, that'd be wild. But then others argued, Come on now. Amy and her daughter are the CEO's real family. They announced it themselves. Quit giving Sue credit, like she deserves it. Seriously, what if Sue's deceased husband was somehow related to the CEO's family? Like maybe a secret brother or something? That's possible, I suppose. Sue might only deserve being with someone like a secret illegitimate child. Seeing these theories pop up in the chat made me feel even more relieved. If Jack actually decides to approach me, I could just use these claims. Though I very much hoped I was overthinking, and that Jack has completely forgotten about me. Sadly, things didn't turn out so easy. The second day of filming began. The hosts couldn't hide their excitement. Our show's live viewership yesterday was double the usual, and based on viewers' suggestions, they all felt kids' growth should involve both parents. So we brought in all the kids' dads overnight. By this afternoon, all dads will be here. Hearing this, I almost lost it. The kids' dads? I quickly responded, my husband already. The host reassured me with a smile. Don't worry, we know your situation. We've arranged for another guest to temporarily fill in as the dad for your daughter. But their words didn't comfort me at all. Because Amy's daughter's dad is Jack. This means Jack will appear too? The live chat exploded with reactions. What did the host mean by that? Does that mean the Wall Street CEO is coming? Wow. How powerful is this show that they can bring in the CEO? Are you stupid? Obviously Amy let the CEO know to come. If he didn't want to, no one, not even a king, could persuade him. Why do I feel a showdown coming? I can't wait to see the CEO's face when he sees how much Sue's daughter looks like him. Everybody was thrilled. Except me. I was a nervous wreck, not focused all morning. Hello. Missy, can't you hear me? How much for the veggies? Until an older lady had to shout a few times to get my attention. I snapped back into focus. My daughter Mia calmly stated, $1.50 a pound, ma'am. How much do you need? The lady said she wanted 2 pounds. Mia helped her measure it with surprising skill. I knew the live viewers would criticize me again, but I didn't have the energy to care. I looked at my well-behaved daughter, wondering, if Jack showed up, would Mia, being as bright as she was, suspect anything? Afternoon came as expected. We were all waiting at the village's community hall. The number of viewers in the live stream was breaking records, seemingly all waiting for Jack to show. Not long after, 3 men in suits, looking like models, walked in against the light. Everyone was super excited. I, on the other hand, felt anxious. When I recognized the faces of the 3 men, I let out a quiet sigh of relief. Then I noticed Amy next to me also sighed, her face turning from ghostly white to a bit flushed. 2 of the men naturally went over to their kids and wives. The other one, looking sharp and strong, glanced at me before walking over in my direction. Just when I started wondering if Jack had shown up or not, a gasp came from the door. Everyone turned to look. This tall, handsome guy strolled in, hand in pocket, stepping in with shiny shoes. He was backlit but impossibly striking. His hair was slicked back, showing off a smooth, full forehead and strikingly handsome features that hit everyone like a punch. He carried this innate sense of refined coolness. In that moment I saw him. My breath caught. 6 years passed. Jack seemed a bit different, yet somehow the same. The live audience was losing their minds when Jack appeared. Oh my God, he's so handsome. I always thought his photos in the business news were touched up. Turns out those photos didn't do him justice. He's ridiculously good looking in real life. Eek. This is what a true boss character should look like. TV versions can't capture the CEO vibe. I can't wait. Hurry up and reunite with Amy and Zoe. I'm dying to see their happy family moment. Jack didn't seem to notice the flurry of comments on the screen. He walked in, those deep eyes scanning the room briefly. When he looked at me, he didn't linger even for a beat. I felt more relief than disappointment. But what caught me off guard was the next moment. He fixed his eyes on my daughter standing next to me. My heart skipped. Instinctively, I wanted to hide her behind me. Just then, the host turned to Jack warmly. Mr. Jack, I know you're eager to hug your wife and daughter, but could we have a moment of your time? We'd love to know how you feel seeing them in person today. As he spoke, he purposely glanced at Amy. Viewers leaned in with bated breath, watching Jack closely. Jack seemed to have thought of something, giving me a quick glance. Then coldly he responded, horrible. Everyone was stunned, including me. Quickly, I let out a resigned chuckle internally, understanding why Jack said that. It was supposed to be a good day to meet his daughter and wife, and yet here I was, a face he always disliked. No wonder his mood soured. The online crowd went quiet, speculating what was up. Could it be that Amy used some shady methods back then to have his kid? So now the CEO doesn't want to own up? No way. If he didn't want to acknowledge it, he wouldn't announce finding out about having a daughter, right? The host flashed an awkward smile. Mustering an escape route, he added, "Well, it must be us delaying your family reunion causing the bad mood, haha. Mr. Jack is clearly eager to just be with MS. Amy and your daughter. Jack, please proceed." He gestured for Jack to go to Amy and Zoe. Everyone watched in anticipation, though the viewers noted something peculiar. Wait a minute. Does anyone else notice Amy's expression? She seems a bit guilty. Before anyone processed it, Jack furrowed his brows deeply, appearing displeased. In a magnetic voice layered with chill, he spoke. What do they amount to? They're supposed to pass for my wife and daughter? Are you blind? My beautiful and adorable daughter looks just like me. And you missed it? Plus, my mood's bad because you dared let another man stand by my wife and daughter in front of me. Finishing his icy statement, Jack strode over to me, pushing aside the man standing next to me. Turning his head, he gazed at me with a calm yet penetrating look. Everyone around was speechless, caught in shock. The live stream fell into an odd silence. Time slipped away. Finally, a passionate viewer typed furiously, nearly smashing their keyboard. Holy crap. Sue and her daughter were the ones the CEO was searching for all along. I can't believe I guessed it right. Me too. From the start, even the blind could see that Sue's daughter looks identical to the CEO. And this one trying to ride the limelight with her average-looking daughter, what's she thinking? I even thought it was some genetic mutation right there. Thinking the CEO is unlucky to have such an ordinary daughter. Turns out she's desperate to ride the coattails. Had me laughing. Huh, are those fans all silenced now, not boasting anymore? Wasn't it just the other day they wouldn't shut up? But seriously, why hasn't Sue claimed her place given they have a daughter already? Why hide and choose to be despised by everyone? I'm so curious about what's going on in her head. Me too. I had no time to read chats. Jack stood next to me without saying a word. But his presence and the faint cool pine cologne wrapped around me made even turning away feel taxing. I felt rigid and tense. Now I should have denied his words immediately. But the reasons I prepared beforehand suddenly felt flimsy. The excuses were too much for me to voice. My brain was foggy. I barely remember how the tasks were split afterward. When I snapped back, I was already with Mia, basket in hand, heading to villagers' homes to find dinner ingredients. Jack followed quietly behind us, silent. Without turning, I felt his eyes linger on me. As we walked, suddenly my hand was held. Startled, I looked to see it was my daughter, and then I eased. Her soft eyes watched me with concern. I forced a smile, feeling a wave of heart-aching guilt. By now, my daughter probably felt more puzzled than me. What about the dad I told her had long passed away? Why'd he suddenly appear? But she was so understanding. She didn't ask anything, and was actually worried about me. I have no clue what Jack's plans are now, so I'll just focus on finishing the live broadcast. Asking the villagers for veggies and meat was actually helping them complete their tasks. Stuff like watering the vegetable garden, cleaning, things like that. Then they'd give me the veggies and meat. When this lady handed me a bucket of pig feed, asking me to feed the pigs, someone beat me to it. A big hand grabbed the bucket and headed to the pigsty. He fed the pigs from the trough. I was completely shocked. Jack, who grew up with a silver spoon, doing such a thing. Even the viewers were amused. Ha ha ha, first time seeing a CEO feeding pigs, how rare. The CEO's moves are nice to watch, but he seems a bit clumsy. When a pig accidentally knocked some feed to the ground, his stunned face was priceless. Such a funny contrast. Ah, so jealous of Sue with her life behind the scenes. And when can I find a CEO to date myself? I'm stunned too. 6 years ago, Jack had a bit of a cleanliness issue, to say the least. Whether it was mental or physical, never would have imagined him feeding pigs. But aside from pressing his lips, he didn't show any disgust. Later, when we had more tasks from the villagers, Jack silently finished them before I could. When we got back to the communal kitchen, I was half expecting this man who never does domestic chores to show off some cooking skills. Luckily, he stuck to his character. Instead, he just sat at the table with Mia. When he saw Mia pull out a programming book, his eyes softened a bit. In a deep, pleasant voice, he asked, "You like programming?" One of my double majors in college was computer science. Mia raised her eyes to look at Jack, her light brown eyes studying him. Then she asked, "Did Mom approve of you, calling yourself Dad?" The viewers were stunned into silence. Oh my God. I thought this was going to be a sweet father-daughter moment. What a twist. Haha, I thought Mia was a quiet, introverted girl. But she's just selectively social. Doesn't it seem like the CEO and his daughter have that same rebellious vibe? Definitely got the same blood. Instead of getting angry, Jack raised an eyebrow, leaned in a little, and said softly, "Guess why your mom had you?" Mia was taken aback, giving Jack a bit of a glare. Jack gave a little victorious smile. The live stream viewers were floored by the competitive vibe between them. Is it just me? Or do these two seem to be competing for attention? I'm so envious of Sue. If I had a charming dad and daughter fighting for my affection, I'd be so much happier. Mia, likely shocked by Jack's words, just looked down and ignored him. Then Amy and the others came back. That's when I realized the good-looking guy got assigned to Amy's group. As soon as Amy returned, her eyes landed right on Jack. She acted all buddy-buddy with my daughter. "Mia, doing homework? If you need any help, you can ask Amy." Amy sneaked a shy glance at Jack, but Jack didn't even acknowledge her. Mia wasn't too polite though. She pointed to something and asked, "Why is my code correct in syntax in quotes, but the image won't display?" Amy looked confused and a bit embarrassed. "Mia, how old are you? Can you really understand programming books?" It was an obvious dig at Mia pretending to know stuff. I was frowning when Jack coolly said, "You're using absolute paths. They're prone to errors. Try using relative paths instead." Mia immediately got what Jack was saying, mumbled to herself, "Wasn't asking you," and continued her book. Amy took her chance, looking at Jack with a worshipful expression. Her eyes were like a child's, pure as she said, "Jack, you're amazing. Oh, by the way, Jack, I debuted with Sue in the same company. Sue told me her daughter was 5, and her husband had passed. Can't understand why she'd lie to me." The viewers in the chat were speechless. Seriously, Amy is such a troublemaker. She's all but saying 5-year-old Mia can't be the CEO's 6-year-old daughter. She couldn't succeed in getting close to him. Now she's just spouting nonsense. How shameless. Of course, I caught that she was hinting to Jack that maybe he should run a DNA test. Even if they look alike, my daughter might not be who he thinks she is. Jack's eyes turned cold as he glared at Amy. "Your cheap perfume is suffocating me. In the future, I don't want to see you in the public eye." One sentence and Amy went deathly pale. But in the live stream, people were praising Jack. "CEO is savage. He's saying he's going to blacklist Amy. For real, I've always thought Amy had this fake innocent vibe. No clue how she even rose to fame. Blacklisting her is a good call. Her fake attitude is unbearable." Earlier, she was practically trying to throw herself at the CEO. Amy's eyes quickly filled with tears, looking humiliated but defiant. "You can't be so cold-blooded. I didn't provoke you. Blacklisting me would ruin me." Jack's gaze got icier. "Didn't think about facing consequences when you pushed Sue to her breaking point?" He spoke calmly. 5 years ago, in the talent show, you hooked up with a judge, stole the top spot from Sue. Then, after signing with the same company, you got cozy with higher-ups. Resources meant for Sue were handed to you. And even the ones she got by herself, the higher-ups took and gave to you. You knew Sue was juggling taking care of her kids and her seriously ill mom. Yet, you not only snatched her endorsement deals, but also secretly suppressed her. Over the years, you fabricated endless negative stories about her. During her toughest times, she lost her mom because she couldn't afford treatment. You've got some nerve. Even a year ago, after I returned to the country and tried to help Sue, you dared to interfere and take those opportunities away. I always thought she simply didn't want them. If I hadn't investigated, I wouldn't have known you've been oppressing her for 6 years. And you still think you haven't pissed me off? With every word Jack spoke, Amy's face turned paler. The people in the live stream were also stunned. This was a massive revelation. So all those years of negative gossip about Sue were all made up by Amy. Back then, when Sue was being slammed, I was just confused. I couldn't understand why she suddenly became so hated. Turns out, it was just internet trolls stirring things up. Wow. Watching him fiercely defend Sue live. The CEO is so impressive. I'm seriously envious of Sue. I looked at Jack shocked. I didn't know he only returned to the country a year ago. No wonder I only started finding info about him last year. He must have sensed my gaze. Turning around, his deep, bottomless eyes caught me off guard. Jack stood up and slowly walked towards me. While I was chopping vegetables, feeling a bit flustered, I forgot to keep moving my hands. When Jack approached, he took my hand and led me to a secluded corner. His eyes, filled with depth, questioned me gently. Sue, I investigated you without your consent recently. That's how I found out when you left me years ago. Your mom's condition worsened, and you were still strapped for cash. Why did you lie? And why, when raising Mia alone, didn't you tell me anything? Looking at the more mature, yet still captivating Jack in front of me, a sharp pain twisted in my heart. I bit my lip, fighting the humiliation, and quietly asked, "Can you tell me honestly, back then, when you offered money to date me, what did you truly think of me?" Looking up, I held his gaze. My hands at my sides clenched unknowingly. I hadn't realized I was slightly trembling from the courage it took to ask. My eyes welled with tears, stubbornly refusing to fall. Jack looked at me, a trace of pain in his usually emotionless eyes. He sighed and truthfully answered, "I thought I was pretty lousy. Not only did the person I liked treat me as a brother, but the one person I got close to, I could only keep around with money." Eventually, I discovered that even money wasn't effective. Back then, feeling a bit lost, I followed my family's plans and went abroad to pursue dual PhDs. I froze, almost losing grip on my tears. I wanted to ask if he found me despicable back then, but now I didn't dare to. The answer he gave could deceive me for a lifetime. In a choked voice, I pleaded softly, "Jack, you've always been exceptional and dazzling. If you want, you can still have a happy life and kids you love in the future. But I only have Mia left as family. Can you please not take Mia away? I know I'm being selfish, that it's unfair to both Mia and Jack. But without Mia, I don't know what I'd have left. I want to seem strong, but I'm terrified Jack will take Mia." Almost begging, I looked at Jack, tears uncontrollably falling. Jack's pupil shrank. He couldn't resist wiping my tears with his well-defined fingers. Then, gently and restrained, he hugged me lightly. He sighed and spoke softly. "All right." Jack's embrace was still something to cherish, especially with that faint, calming scent lingering around. Sadly, that embrace wasn't meant for me. It belonged to the person Jack loved, and I shouldn't covet it. Reluctantly, I pulled away from him. I dared not ask if he's fallen for someone new or if he still harbors feelings for his first love after all these years. I kept my eyes down, saying, "The show is still live, and I can't be gone too long or they'll dock my pay. I should go back and make dinner." As I turned to leave, my hand was gently held back. I looked back in confusion, only to find Jack's deep eyes fixed on me. "You never told me. Why did you leave when you clearly needed money? Did I do something that made you despise me?" I quickly shook my head, unsure how to answer. I couldn't exactly say that I was getting too attached. Constantly anxious, he'd suddenly grow cold and cut things off. So I figured I'd end it first, making it slightly less pathetic for myself. In my confused state, Mia's soft yet exasperated voice chimed in. "Oh, come on, you two. Mom often secretly looks at your pictures she took and searches for news about you. She frequently stares at my face, lost in thought, likely thinking about you. In short, Mom likes you. It's bad enough you've got someone else on your mind, but you basically humiliated her. If she didn't leave, was she supposed to wait for you to get sick of her and kick her out?" I cringed in embarrassment. Who knew even my daughter could see right through me? All I wanted was to find somewhere to hide, away from this face-burning humiliation. Jack, however, gripped my shoulders tight. "Mia speaks the truth. You really like me?" Biting my lip, I hadn't answered yet when Jack pulled me close again, this time with an iron grip. Angrily, he accused, "Sue, why are you so tough? With me, you were aloof, acting heartless, even taking pills right in front of me. If you like me, why wait 6 years to send that paternity test last month? Did you ever realize how often I wanted to just bind you to me, so you'd only ever see me? I was lost. What paternity test? At this point, Mia calmly said, "Oh, I forgot to mention. I'm the one who sent the paternity test." She continued, "Because I wanted to know how you felt about me and Mom's existence. It turns out I can relax now. It seems like you're more concerned about Mom than me." I was completely stunned. "So you found out you have a daughter because Mia sent the paternity test to you?" Hearing this, Jack held me tighter. "Sue, did you catch the main point? For 6 years, I missed you so much," he said with such a nice voice. Yet there was a tinge of grievance that made my heart feel like it was being gently brushed by a feather, leaving me flustered. Jack said he missed me. It was something I never even dared to dream about. "But don't you have someone you like in your heart?" Jack sighed helplessly. "That was a long time ago. Ever since I've been with you, no one else has ever occupied my heart. Also, did you know how painful it was for me when you cried and told me not to take Mia away from you? I thought only your daughter was in your heart, not me. I thought you only went through having a daughter just because you wanted family." I hurriedly spoke up. "No way back then. My mother's illness got so serious that I was absolutely exhausted. If the child wasn't yours, I couldn't have found the courage to keep going." Hearing this, Jack looked a bit pained and said, "Sorry that I couldn't be with you all these years and let you endure so much." I hastily replied, "You don't have to apologize. You didn't know, and it was initially my responsibility. I actually want to thank you and Mia. Every time when I was about to give up, thinking about you both gave me courage and motivation again." Jack felt even more sympathetic from now on. "With me here, I won't let you and Mia suffer even a little bit." Jack's words were the sweetest thing I had ever heard. Later on, Jack really made it happen. Not only did he make sure Mia and I never faced any hardship, but even his family treated us wonderfully. The end.